Join me on my trip as I head to Albania away with England for their final World Cup qualification game. We are now 7 out of 7 for wins, 20 goals scored, 0 conceded. Can we set a record and keep a clean sheet in every single World Cup qualification game? Match day -1. A lot of our fans are already out in Albania enjoying drinks and enjoying the weather. I'm heading there tomorrow morning on the 5:20 Wizz Air flight from Luton. But before that, I'm heading down to London today, and I've got 2 really big sporting events that I'm looking forward to sharing. As always, I'm trying to do my travelling on a budget, which means in London, I'm renting a driveway to try and save some money. You've got really good providers like Just Park or Your Parking Space that can save you quite a lot of money when you're travelling down to a place like that. So I'm using that for airport parking in Luton tonight, and also in London, I've paid about £7.50 to have a driveway in London for the whole day, where I can cross between the 2 venues hosting the sporting events that I'm going to tonight. And here we go, we start the trip off with a nice 3-hour drive down to London. Down in roughly 3 hours. Now we're all parked up on the driveway in Tottenham, just about to head on the tube before heading over to Arsenal, and should have about an hour before kick-off. One of the day, we have Brazil versus Senegal in an international friendly being held at the Emirates. Both of these sides are teams that have recently got a win over England. In March 24, Brazil beat us at Wembley, and obviously Thomas Tuchel, one of his early games, we suffered a 3-1 defeat at the hands of Senegal. Just look all around you at the yellow and green of the Brazilian national flag, and also some good support from Senegal as well. This should be a really good atmosphere. It's like a family fun vibe outside the Emirates Stadium right now. I really like, which is a nice touch around this stadium, is around the whole perimeter of the ground you've got the history of Arsenal Football Club, which I think is a really nice touch for when you've got younger fans trying to get into the club that can understand the history. And here we are inside ground 224, Emirates Stadium, home of Arsenal. I do love a good ground hop to a big stadium, but the stairs don't half kill you off. And this is the view for this afternoon's game. Can't complain. Taken my seat. With it being an international break, my team Stafford are still playing, so I'm listening to that game on the radio, and Stafford have just equalised, making this even better. And it's 1-0 to Brazil. They've been knocking on the door, they've hit the woodwork twice, and this place is absolutely going mental. It's 2-0 to Brazil from a set piece, whips the ball in, 3 at the back post, goal, 2-0. Brazil have converted their dominance, hit the woodwork twice, and Carlo Ancelotti's men are now 2-0 up against Senegal here at the Emirates. And the goal stands, Casemiro, 2-0 to Brazil. Time, and it's 2-0 to Brazil, definitely being the better team. The atmosphere in this place is absolutely ridiculous. The percentage of fans is probably an 80-20 split in terms of Brazilians to Senegalese, but great support from both sets of fans. It finished 2-0 to Brazil. Second half was probably a little bit of a better performance from Senegal, who definitely on their day could have probably scored a couple in that second half, but Brazil were very impressive in the first half, which ultimately led to the result. Now it's time to leave Arsenal and the Emirates and go straight to their rivals in Tottenham Hotspur, as I'm watching Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn 2. Time to go and watch potentially the final fight of one of boxing's biggest rivalries. This rivalry goes back many a decade, to the point that my dad actually went to one of the Nigel Benn versus Chris Eubank senior fights, and his affinity to the family has definitely stayed the same, as I am now supporting Conor, and I was disappointed that he didn't come away with the win in the first fight, but I thought he fought valiantly considering the difference in weight and size between the two. And we've arrived at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium ahead of the boxing tonight. What an absolute beauty of a stadium this is from the outside. Gonna have to do a lap around just to admire it before heading in. Event ready. Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. too. Hoping for Conor Benn to do it, but I think that it could be Chris Eubank who gets the win again.
Benn has defeated Chris Eubank Jr. in a near punch-perfect performance here at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Finally witnessing a Benn beat a Eubank. What a moment.
Official on the scorecards, Conor Benn defeats Chris Eubank Jr. unanimously. It was a near punch-perfect performance from him. With the two knockdowns coming in the final round, he just wore Chris Eubank out all night. He was on the front foot the entire fight. Chris Eubank just could not deal with it. It's an absolutely outstanding performance to step up a couple of weight divisions and be able to pull off a performance like that. I'm looking forward to seeing what Conor Benn can achieve now once he drops down a couple more weights. The Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and now it's straight to Luton Airport for a 5:20 flight to Albania for England versus Albania. And there we have it. What a day it's been so far, with an incredible atmosphere at Arsenal for the Brazil versus Senegal game, where ultimately Brazil won. And then going over to Tottenham, their rival stadium, which is absolutely beautiful, by the way. I don't think I've emphasised how nice that stadium is. Haven't been there yet. Obviously, it's been open for a couple of seasons now, but I cannot emphasize enough how much you need to go, and I definitely need to go back for a football game. I'd love to go for like a European night. It'd be absolutely immense, I can imagine. That one tier stand is just stunning. But yeah, to then watch Conor Benn, who obviously I was rooting for, family connection there with my dad going to the previous fight between the parents, and obviously me missing out on tickets last time. It was a sold out event that I tried to get tickets for, and usually I'm pretty good on the ticketing front, but I didn't manage to get it. So I was super excited to go to that fight today, and it wasn't the most exciting of fights. It wasn't like the first fight in that it was super intense and both of them ended up in hospital, but it was just a punch perfect performance by Conor Benn. I cannot believe that one of the judges scored it 116-110, considering that there's two knockdowns in the final round. I do not know how he watched the same fight as me and came to that conclusion, because I thought maybe you could give Chris Eubank Jr. 1-2 rounds. I don't know how you could give him any more than that, really. But now we've got about a 1 hour drive to Luton Airport, so I've rented another driveway again. As I say, it's roughly about 25 quid, I think, for 3 nights, which is obviously really, really good compared to airport parking, so you can't knock it, really. It is now 3 a.m. and I've arrived in Luton. I spent a lot of time procrastinating, trying to kill some time because I knew that I'd have ages lying around the airport. And to be fair, my driveway was only booked from about 2 a.m, so I had to kill some time anyway. Parked up, and then it's about a half an hour walk to the airport, so it's not too bad, but obviously quite early in the morning. Thankfully, the rain isn't too bad right now, so it's pretty dry walk to the airport. I think when I do trips like this, the tiredness kind of comes in waves. And right now I've reached a bit of a second wind. I don't feel too bad. Flight's obviously not for another 2.5 hours, so potential for me to crash again before that. I've got an aisle seat, which is decent, so hopefully be able to get my head down, some sleep. And I don't have a ticket for the game for this evening now, and I don't think I'm going to get one because the waiting list is closed. That being said, the football is only part of an England away day, and part of the fun is just going to the local pubs, looking at the local tourist attractions, and just overall just having a holiday with football mixed in. So if I don't get a ticket for this evening, it's not the end of the world. It's still my 32nd country, and I'm super looking forward to experiencing what Tirana has to offer. What I love is as we progress through this video, you'll see me get more and more tired. But what I want to do with this page is try and show people that travelling and budgeting for major sporting events and travelling with football or with sport is something that everyone can do if you budget in the right way and you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of comfort, which is what I'm doing now by not getting a hotel, by having to walk to the airport instead of getting airport parking, getting that horrible 5 a.m. Wizz Air flight. So on that note, let's have a cost update for how much today's cost. I reckon in fuel to get down from my hometown to London, probably looking at about 20-25 quid on fuel. Then parking for the football and for the boxing was 8 quid for the day, which I thought was an absolute steal. For London, I was expecting to pay a lot more than that. Ticket for the football was 20 quid, ticket for the boxing was 60 quid. Paid for them so long ago, it kind of feels like it was free at the time. So sleeping on the plane didn't go to plan, which now means we are roughly 24 hours without sleep. We've arrived in Tirana. Look at the state of that building.
It is even nicer in person. So, unfortunately, it's been a good day in Tirana, but I've not been able to get myself a ticket in the England away end. And the home end tickets are looking at about 200 to 300 quid, and I'm just not paying that for what is essentially a glorified friendly at this point. Hopefully, obviously, England go on to win it. But we're still enjoying some drinks with some England fans, and I'm with Ben, my good friend,
Yo,
What are your score prediction for the game today?
it's going to be a boring 1-0 England win.
So will you take that with a 100% record and 100% clean sheets in World Cup qualifications?
Yes, definitely. 100% win record and 0 goals conceded. Who else can say that?
So have you converted to a Thomas Tuchel fan?
Short answer, no.
Are we going to win the World Cup?
Also, no.
It's fucking coming home, mate. How to get there, I don't know. How to get there, I don't care. All I know is England's on the way. Run away, to the New York Army. No talking army in New York. Follow England away, follow England away, follow England away. Johnny fucking Stones.
What the fuck is that?
Finally, that is the end of my World Cup qualifying journey. I've been unsuccessful in trying to achieve a ticket for the final World Cup qualifying stage, which means I've done 7 out of 8 games. Obviously, I'm fucking knackered with the past 24 hours. What I've done has been amazing, and even though I'm not in the ground to watch this game, it's still amazing to be amongst the England fans that travel everywhere we go. The support we get to watch England away is just absolutely outstanding. Obviously, this game doesn't mean too much. It would be brilliant to be inside that ground, and obviously, I'm absolutely gutted. But still, I'll go to watch it in a pub, and I'll have a great time. Last night, England finished their World Cup qualifying campaign in perfect fashion, winning 2-0 here in Albania, keeping a clean sheet, meaning we've gone 8 games, 8 wins, 0 goals conceded. I was actually unsuccessful in getting a ticket, so I went and watched the game in a pub. But it's still great to be out here for the atmosphere. And over the next day or so, I fly back tomorrow night, we'll be checking out Tirana and some of the sites that it's got to offer. This is the view from on top of Tirana Pyramid, which is a setup here where you've got steps and you can walk up to the top and get a nice view of the city.
I'd like to go in that.
Right, so I'm just walking round Tirana and I pull up and see this van from Stafford and Telford that has travelled all the way and is in Tirana. How is that even possible? Something that's massively surprised me about this city was the fact that I found out that Albania is the most tunnelled country in the world outside of North Korea. It turns out that in the 80s and 90s, under their dictatorship, they built loads and loads of tunnels, which now today are opened up as bunkers, which you can pay as a tourist to go down to some of. I think bunkers like that are a really cool way to see what Albania was like in the past under the dictatorship and under communist rule. There's also lots of boards that are there to describe the things that you're seeing in English, so it's pretty good, quite information heavy. Takes a little bit of time. I completed it in roughly an hour, but that was with reading a fair few of the signs. Now I'm going to head back to the ground where England played last night. To say that I've actually been there and had a look at it. I think you can do a stadium tour and it's just beautiful from the outside, so get to have another look. And here we are, we're back outside this absolutely beautiful stadium. You cannot knock it. It's one of the most attractive stadiums, and the unique feature of just having the Marriott Hotel there is just crazy. Obviously, I'm absolutely gutted that I didn't get to go in last night, so we're going to try and see if they offer any kind of stadium tour or a way that I can go and have a look around now. It looks like they do actually offer tours, but you have to book it through Get Your Guide, and it's about 31 quid, which, as far as stadium tours go, I'd say is pretty expensive. It's pretty much the cost of a match day ticket, but I'll probably think about doing it and maybe head there tomorrow morning. This was the accommodation for my time during Tirana, €7.50 a night. Can't knock it. Even if you don't have a ticket to an England away game, you can still have a mint time. Just I've made so many friends, not just from on here, but just bumping into people that you get chatting to on an England away day, and I'd consider these people my friends now. And I started this solo, coming out to England games, and honestly, I'd just encourage anyone to do the same thing. If you're a football fan and you feel like you support a lower league team and you're not going to get European away days or fun trips abroad, England is the perfect opportunity to do it. So it is now the final day of Albania away trip. I've got a flight in roughly 7 hours. I was speaking to some lads out here last night who said that there's actually a cafe or a bar at the stadium where you can get a pitch side view whilst you have a pint. That's something I'm definitely going to try and do now. Back here yet again. This is the 4th time in 3 days that I've been here, and I still haven't even been inside the stadium, so I'm really hoping that I can get a drink and go in the ground. Still blows my mind every time I see it though. What a beautiful stadium. A little bit more wet today in Tirana than it has been over the past few days, unfortunately. But attempt number 4, we are actually heading into the stadium, doing a stadium tour, which was €13. And this is the view from pitch side. Absolutely stunning stadium, 23,500 capacity, which is small for a modern stadium, but really close to the pitch from everywhere you sit. It's really nice. I've been in the Air Albania Stadium, and what a beautiful stadium it is.
And that is now me home from a very eventful weekend. I hope you've enjoyed the video of me showing what it's like as a travelling England fan and how to make the most of an international break. If you have enjoyed this and are interested in more football European ground hops, then this weekend I'm actually heading to 2 games, one in Italy, Udinese versus Bologna, and one in Slovenia, Maribor versus Olimpia Ljubljana, in Slovenia's eternal derby. Like, subscribe, and keep watching football.